Every athlete who plays a team game knows the rule. Help your team score points, runs, or goals. Ask any pro athlete and they'll tell you their worst fear is to surrender an own goal. You cost your team dearly and you become a highlight reel and sensation for all the wrong reasons. I'm Justin. For Action today, we present 10 epic and hilarious friendly fire moments. At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video. But first, a couple of honorable mentions. Darius REYNAUD'S self-safety. NFL teams get a long offseason. You never want to embarrass yourself on the first play of the season. But poor Tennessee Titans return man Darius REYNAUD'S, who thought he was taking a knee for a touchback in their Week 1 2013 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. REYNAUD'S actually surrendered a safety on the play. Kind of the worst way to start out your season. NICLAS WALLIN'S own goal. Former NHL defenseman NICLAS WALLIN'S won a Stanley Cup with the Carolina Hurricanes in 2006, scoring some big-time goals to help them win their first championship in history. Unfortunately, WALLIN'S isn't remembered for that as much as this own goal in a home game against the Washington Capitals. Number 10, Rasheed Wallace. Wrong basket, buddy. Rasheed Wallace enjoyed a stellar career in the NBA, which spanned from 1995 to 2013. It was highlighted by a 2004 NBA championship victory with the Detroit Pistons. He was also a four-time All-Star. Standing at 6'11" and weighing 230 pounds, Wallace used his big frame to snatch rebounds with relative ease. He averaged 6.7 points per game in his career after all. But Wallace did the big no-no when he got this rebound in a game against the Chicago Bulls. Wallace seemed to have a short brain fart scoring a routine basket against his own team. We're guessing that basket didn't count towards his stats for the season. Number 9, Vancouver Canucks slapstick comedy of errors. Now, some NHL own goals aren't as embarrassing as others. Sometimes the puck takes a weird bounce off a defensive player and in. It happens. But when the Vancouver Canucks hosted the Montreal Canadiens in a 2013 game, pure embarrassment ensued. Defenseman Dan Hamhuis tried advancing the puck forward. Instead, it got stuck in the Vancouver crease, and goalie Roberto Luongo looked around for it, only to see it slowly fall into the net. And it stood up as the game winner. So this was not the most convenient of times for Vancouver to commit friendly fire. Number 8, Mark Sanchez's butt fumble. Bring up the name Mark Sanchez to New York Jets fans and you'll almost never hear them talk about the guy who helped them reach back-to-back AFC championship games in 2009 and 10. Rather, they'll think of a huge draft bust, a guy who couldn't perform in the pressure-packed New York market, a guy who made way too many mistakes, leader of what many called a circus. Sanchez's career highlight was also the one he'd like to forget most, the infamous butt fumble play in a 2012 Thanksgiving home game against the rival New England Patriots. Running into your own offensive lineman's derriere? Yeah, that's a friendly fire moment no NFL quarterback ever wants to be part of. Number 7, Mike Smith's butt goal. The Arizona Coyotes haven't had much to celebrate since relocating from Winnipeg to the desert 2 years ago. This is an organization with annual ownership uncertainties, terrible attendance, and no long-term arena deal. Attendance is right near the bottom of the NHL every year. Oh, and the team just isn't very good at hockey. Heck, even a quality goalie like Mike Smith wasn't able to bring this team many fortunes in his tenure in the desert. Take this game-winning goal he surrendered in overtime, where his rear end dragged the puck into the back of the net. We don't think that's how NHL goalies dream of scoring goals, but at least Smith was generous enough to help another team win. Number 6, Jose Canseco, how to not use your head. Jose Canseco was a 10-time MLB All-Star who crushed 462 home runs in his career. He won World Series championships with the Oakland Athletics and New York Yankees, plus the 1988 AL MVP award. But when you ask the average baseball fan or prognosticator about Canseco's most memorable play, let's just say it's also the most unforgettable moment of his career. In a 1993 game between Canseco's Texas Rangers and the Cleveland Indians, Canseco was tracking down a fly ball from Carlos Martinez in the right field. Just when it looked like Canseco was about to make a nice grab at the warning track, the ball bounced off his head and over the fence for a Cleveland home run. You don't see a lot of friendly fire moments in baseball, but this one by Canseco was of epic proportions. Number 5, Larry Nance gives Clippers a nice Christmas gift. All athletes feel nervous and the pressure to perform well in their rookie seasons. It's natural. One lackluster year is all it takes for you to be out of the league after all. So let's just feel sorry here for Larry Nance, who was trying to shine as a rookie for the Los Angeles Lakers in their 2015 Christmas special game against the Los Angeles Clippers. Rookie, playing in a big market, on national television. Just what could possibly go wrong? That friendly fire basket was all the more embarrassing when you look closely and notice he could have easily grabbed the rebound. Well, at least it wasn't a buzzer beater in a Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Number 4, Dan Boyle sinks his Sharks. The top-seeded San Jose Sharks met the Colorado Avalanche in the opening round of the 2010 NHL playoffs. The series was tied 1 game apiece heading into the Mile High City for Games 3 and 4. Game 3 was scoreless in regulation and required overtime. Shark superstar defenseman Dan Boyle tried clearing the puck behind the net to his teammate, but he kind of committed the ultimate oh no. The good news is that the Sharks went on to win the series in 6 games, but Boyle's otherwise very stellar career will be quite overlooked for that one hilarious blooper friendly fire moment. Number 3, Jim Marshall runs the wrong way. Jim Marshall was part of the legendary Minnesota Vikings Purple People Eaters defense of the 60s and 70s. Led the Vikings to the 1969 NFL Championship, was named to 2 Pro Bowls, and helped the team reach 4 Super Bowl appearances in the 70s. Marshall's number 70 is retired by the Vikings, and he's in the Ring of Honor. So you kind of get the idea. He was one of the best defensive ends of his era. He's a major sports icon of the state of Minnesota. Unfortunately, Marshall's career is best remembered for a hilarious blunder in a 1964 game against the San Francisco 49ers. Marshall scooped up a loose football and ran to the end zone for what he thought was a touchdown. Marshall ignored his teammates' cries and ran the wrong way. He threw the ball out of bounds in celebration, surrendering a safety. The Vikings did win the game, but that play is what defined Marshall's otherwise excellent career. Number 2, disastrous throw-in. It's not all that easy committing a brutal own goal in soccer. It doesn't have a quick pace like hockey, and the pitch is much larger than a football field. So with lots of space and a slower pace of play, it's easy for defenders and goalies to avoid the nightmare of an own goal. But poor Aston Villa goaler Peter Enkelman, who botched this routine throw-in from teammate Olof Mellberg. You have to feel sorry for Enkelman, because that one botch right there was his entire legacy in Aston Villa. And number 1, Dan Orlovsky, safety first. Murphy's Law applies to any team that goes winless throughout an entire season. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Take the case of the 2008 Detroit Lions, who went 0-16 and endured one of the most embarrassing seasons of any sports team to ever walk on the planet. Sorry it's harsh, but it's true. The signature win of the Lions' winless season a decade ago? Well, of course it had to have been when quarterback Dan Orlovsky accidentally committed friendly fire and stepped out of bounds for a safety. Well, that just summed up the whole season for the Lions. At least it can't possibly be that bad ever again. What other epic and hilarious friendly fire moments should we have included on our list? Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who make videos of their own, and while I doubt we'll ever have an official behind-the-scenes how did this get made video, here's a little primer. The videos are shot at 1080p. We've done 4K sometimes, but since the people that actually upload the videos are in Canada, their internet sucks. Now, I can tell you that the videos that I do are shot at 24 frames per second because it looks more cinematic. When you go to a theater and you see a movie, it's usually at 24 frames per second. So people's brains associate that with something more cinematic, I guess. The mic in this studio is a Sennheiser MKH416, which is called the Hollywood mic because a lot of people in Hollywood use it. In this shot, it's somewhere above me. Now, this looks a little bright to you, but that's because we're using a really awesome lens. The lens is, of course, a Sigma 18 to 35mm f1.8 art, which is about $750. But the f-stop is actually 1.2 because you need a speed booster to attach it to this Panasonic camera. So then it's actually, brighter. Oh, and that's about $200. All of these videos are done in Adobe Premiere. Well, all the ones that I do are done in Adobe Premiere and shot as flat as the camera will allow it. After that, we set the white balance and color correct the video to something that looks, normal. And then after that, we'll go in and we don't use LUTs here. Well, I don't use LUTs. I can't say everybody doesn't. I don't work with everybody. But yeah, there you go. Nope. And the pièce de résistance is... Did I even say that right? Is that a real... I don't know what that means. But anyways, after that, we'll use Film Convert Pro on top of the video to make it look even more cinematic and bring down some of the shadows and make it look even cooler. This is the look that I like whenever I'm editing. Now, I don't edit all the videos, but I do edit nearly all the videos that I do because that's what they want me to do. Not everybody has that, but that's what I do because I'm also an editor. Oh, one last thing. These particular videos that week were shot at 1920 by 960, or rather they were shot at 1080p and we changed them to that because they look cooler on phones. But it also takes some time to do that. And as you can imagine, it takes a lot of time to do these videos. Maybe like 12 days for 5 of them, completely edited and done. In any case, I'll see you guys next time. And if you have any questions, feel free to @ me on Twitter or write me on Instagram if I ever get on there. I'm a little busy editing. But anyways, take care, stay cool, and have an awesome day.